Whoa, back up a minute. Hitler. Well, I'm back to Fog Entertainment. Let's talk about the History Channel. We've got Hitler, Christopher Columbus, we've got Indians, we've got Gary Cooper, we've got Tony Soprano, we've got Artie bricking it, bolting to the back of your car.
Back up a minute here. Before we continue this video, guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Right, carry on.
Carry on, let's go! Christopher Columbus. They're going to cancel the parade. Bobby reads the newspaper as some guy started blowing his nose. Silvio wasn't too impressed by this. But
would you stop fucking blowing your nose?
Would you stop fucking blowing your nose? Right, so pretty much cards on the table here. Columbus Day Parade is being cancelled because the Red Indians are here to stay. And I think if the mob are being cancelled out of a parade, it can pretty much happen to everyone. I mean, this is back in the early 2000s. And Tony Soprano's getting his ass handed to him here.
Yeah, the Native Americans weren't taking any shit. They didn't really care about Tony Soprano. They didn't care about the mob. They were adamant that this Christopher Columbus parade wasn't happening. And this just made them look very weak. The fact that the Native Americans would stand up in New York and basically just say to the big Italian mobsters, here, see your wee parade. See your wee fucking hero that came over here a couple hundred years ago. Fuck him.
Yeah, and I think it just shows you, though, that the mob could easily kill them if they want, like the leaders, but obviously it brings heat, right? So that's the dilemma.
I don't want that kind of heat.
But Silvio's feeling a wee bit more passionate about this. You've seen the last few episodes, Silvio's going a wee bit rogue, stealing tiles, confronting Indians. He gets Patsy to climb up a lamppost here. He brings down the what do you call it, the mannequin that was said, murderer. Artie then gets hit in the back of the head with some squash, and then he dolphin dives into the back seat of a Mercedes.
This was absolutely pathetic for Artie, right? I mean, he sees it.
Pathetic for all of them.
I know, but I mean, we've literally got, I don't know who it was, but one of them's been cracked with a glass
little
bottle.
Polly.
He's laying on the ground, busted, bleeding everywhere. And Artie gets hit with some squash, and the guy fucking jumps into the back seat and locks the door. And he's sitting in there.
He's peeking out the window.
Child lock on. And he's looking at, I mean, come on. What was Artie doing here? I was going to say Tony should kick him out. I know he's not even involved, but still.
Tony wasn't really interested.
This is embarrassing for Artie.
I know, but
he should be giving everybody in the mob free meals for next year.
He should be. You know, I actually like Silvio the last couple of episodes, especially he's standing up for what he believes in.
Which is good, because so far in the series, we haven't really seen that for Silvio. It's just kind of
relaying Tony's message.
Hi, Tony says, jump. Silvio says, how high?
I mean, that's can you go?
That's kind of all we've got, but Silvio in this episode was, just acting on his own initiative, really, and even kind of debating Tony and standing up for himself and disagreeing with Tony.
You know, yeah, he absolutely was, and Tony reaches out to a few people, Assemblyman Ron Selman, an Indian chief. He's trying to get them to cancel the protest at the big parade, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We see Bobby Bacala. He's in traffic. He receives a phone call from his son, who he needs to pick up something, but he's not happy. He's like, why can't my wife do it? Then his wife dies, and the very traffic jam he was in was caused by his wife in a car crash.
Yeah, so he's complaining about traffic. He's complaining about his wife, yet the wife is the cause of the traffic. Big Bobby, not going to take that one too well.
He didn't. He was fucking crying. And you know what, right? Yeah, they're gangsters, but at least this guy actually cares about his wife.
I think if Carmela fucking was in a car crash, Tony would whip out the cigars and jump into the pool with the ducks and start swimming, doing laps around the pool.
Also have a couple of ducklings with him or something. But yeah, like, they actually made the point that because Bobby didn't have like a Gumar, they were all laughing at him because he loved his wife. What a bad fucking guy he is. Like, and you see at the wedding, like, they're all in the corner. Tony's like showing off his rings and Silvio's laughing at the guy's wife's funeral. I think, I get it, right? They have Gumars, but we cannot respect the fact that this guy actually loved his fucking wife.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, you got Junior later on. He's like, here, can you tell Bobby to pick me up in the morning? It's like, fucking guy's just had his family destroyed. I highly doubt he wants to come and pick your ass up in the morning.
Yeah, we see John Sacramone.
But Junior's head's so far up his ass, he thought he was somehow being considerate.
Aye.
By being an inconsiderate bastard. And I still don't think Carmela has forgiven Junior for the hit he put out on Tony.
Like 4 seasons later. But
which is good, because I don't think something like that should be forgiven.
No, I don't think it should be, even if Tony's kind of forgotten about it. But we do see Paulie tell John Sacramone about the wife made about his big fat wife, the 98-pound mole. And he also points at the fact about a warehouse that Tony is being sold to by Junior. To which Johnny is giving Ralphie the cold shoulder, ain't he? Gives him at the wedding, gives him at the meeting, and no one really knows why. Tony thinks someone's talking, but who does he think is talking?
I'm not too sure, but why doesn't this guy just man up and confront Ralph? Instead of being a little bitch and just ignoring him.
Considering he's like second in charge in New York at this point, and Ralph's just a diddy man in New Jersey. You think he would, right? Now, time can change in the next couple of episodes, but what about Ralph? What's he doing this episode? Well, he splits up with Rosalie. He's getting like a dildo shoved up his ass as well. I mean,
Pretty gay there.
what the fuck's this guy doing?
Does Tony really want this guy in his crew?
Yeah, and then he goes up the stairs in Janice's house and she just pushes him down.
Take your shoes off, pushes him down the stairs, and then I thought he was dead.
Did you?
I actually thought
It was like an EastEnders sort of.
well, hold on. As if the Sopranos hasn't done shit deaths.
No, of course it fucking
I
is.
legitimately thought he was dead here. But then he starts talking about his back, so I thought he was crippled, but then he just gets up and walks out.
It's like,
It's like, what?
whatever happened there? I mean,
He takes his wee fucking man bag back with him. So I don't know if he's going to try and get back with his wife. But
give me just a little more.
one guy that
time.
won't be getting back with his wife though is Big Bobby.
No, she's dead.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and you know what, right? The guy's mourning here. Fair play to him. He's crying. He consoles a wee bit in Janice, and that's probably the main reason why she like pushed him down the stairs, Ralphie, because she thought that Bobby Bachelor can be what a real man can be. You know, he's got a bit of passion and a love for his family, but because you know what, he is kind of one of a kind. The rest of them don't really give a fuck. As we see, right? See in the next scene where they're driving back for the casino, nothing really happens there, right?
Yeah, they go to the casino, play a few games.
Yeah. Then we get Silvio and Tony slobbering in the front seat. You've got Patsy and Chris in the back, like two kids.
I would say that's probably one of the best scenes I think they've done in a very long time.
Yeah, it was like a 10-minute conversation in the front. No, it
wish it was 10 minutes.
It ends pretty abruptly, right? But essentially, Silvio's crying about everything going on. Tony's like, right, you're going to be the one that phones fucking Frankie then and tells him that the Indians are coming to town, sort of thing. Silvio's like, oh, you know, we've been discriminated against. My grandfather and grandmother were spat on. And Tony's like, did you ever get anything because you were Italian, or was it because it was fucking you? I liked it.
It was like a backhanded compliment. He's trying to put Sylvie over, then burying his wife at the same
He's like,
fucking time.
you had a bit of ass, but all right, you had a bit of ass. And Silvio's just having to sit there, eat it up. And then he goes on about Gary Cooper. He's like, Gary Cooper's a great guy. Then Silvio's talking about how, well, you know what, gays, and it's not actually Gary Cooper, it's the movies. You know, he's not actually like that in real life. And then Chris butts in with, he was gay, Gary Cooper? No, he wasn't fucking gay. Now, what's that line Tony says?
Silvio's keeps going on and on and on, and Tony's like, oh, would you fucking stop?
The group.
Fucking fantastic. Great soundbite there. Clip it.
Yep, and then he essentially just tells Silvio, that's your problem, you're the one that's going to phone Frankie. Enough. It ends here, and then black.
And that was it. I mean, literally, they're having a conversation, and then it just fades to black, and that's the end of the episode. I mean, no cliffhanger, no reveal, just a conversation. Tony finishes the sentence, and then the episode finishes. It's like, what the hell happened here?
Like, I think The Sopranos does pop culture very well. I think it does include a lot of like real life scenarios. I liked Artie's joke about 9/11 when like the Indian Muslim guy said I had some business in Manhattan. He's like, shit, not again.
Yeah, we also
that was good, but
we also had the Jew as well.
Yeah, that
on
stuff.
The farm.
That stuff was brilliant. And he's like, Hitler, just as bad as Hitler. And Hitler's like, whoa, back up a minute.
Hitler?
I mean, you know what, right? I know there's always a thing about all the Jews going about the Holocaust. But this guy, Hesh, was actually in the concentration camps.
Unlucky.
So,
well, he's old enough. It definitely looks like he could have been there.
No, he was.
I believe him.
Fact, you know what? The banter this episode was great. I don't know why it's regarded as one of the worst episodes.
Yeah, considering I heard this was arguably I heard this was the worst episode of all time, I was expecting it to be a shit show. By Sopranos standards, I was expecting this episode to absolutely suck. Yet for me, it was easily the best episode of season 4. Probably the best episode I've seen in a long time. Probably one of my favourite episodes of The Sopranos.
It was funny. Story orientated, nothing happened, right? Realistically, Junior's trial got moved a wee bit up. But that's it. Johnny Sack finds out the joke, which will have a bit of effect this season, but realistically...
Yeah, the priest in the church, I mean,
that
didn't
did
really
nothing,
care.
Who cares? Yeah, so what, right? He said the stereotype for Italian Americans is the mob. It is. See, when I think of Italian American, I think of the mafia. And Carmela's taking it bad and all those...
Well, actually, he didn't. He was trying to...
Yeah, I know, but the speaker he brought in did. Like, they were just going to fucking blatantly lie?
But she was defending. It's not like she was saying that is all Italians are mobsters. She was saying that's the
Yeah, that's the
So why the
stereotype.
hell? Why is that a bad thing?
They're just taking it thick.
it was basically her saying it's not fair. She was basically saying how American Italians are discriminated
But
against.
I think what they've took it bad is the dose of reality, because they're like, we're all hard workers, we're not the mob, and obviously the women, Carmela and those women, they're not hard workers.
They say the truth hurts.
Yeah, they do nothing. They're not workers.
If the shoe fits, fucking wear it.
They shoot out a couple of kids, and they live off their men's money.
I think that's what it was. I think it just touched a nerve, because what the speaker, their perception of what most Americans think of the Italian Americans, she thinks it's unfair. But in Carmela's case, it's legit, because that is her life. That's not just a false perception. That is her life. She is married to the biggest mob boss of them all. She doesn't work hard. She has got everything handed to her. So that's probably why she took it so bad.
Yeah, and you know what? I like the fact it just tied in history. Real life history. It wasn't just plucked up, made up shit that some shows do. Actual real stuff with Christopher Columbus. Gives you a wee history lesson. But overall, I'm going to give this episode...
Is Christopher Columbus better than Christopher Malsani?
Maltasanti? It might be.
Did Christopher Columbus ever do crack? Or
inject heroin into his fucking toes?
Probably not. Like,
he killed a bunch of Indians. I'm going to give this episode I'm going to give it a 7. You know what? It was funny.
I'm giving it a 7 too. I wouldn't give it an 8.
No.
But it's better than a 6. So therefore, I'll meet in the middle and I'll go with
I had a
7.
bit of everything apart from story.
Aye.
So...
If it was more story orientated, then who knows, could have bumped up to an 8, but it was funny though, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind if the story didn't really advance, because there was a lot of good scenes, and it was just, I liked the banter and the back and forth between different groups thinking that they were being discriminated against and getting a hard time, and then of course the comparisons to Hitler and stuff. Always interesting when you get...
and it wasn't woke.
Yeah, when you get compared to the big H-bomb, then you know it's always going to...
back up a minute. Hitler. That's a great line.
Hitler. Anyway, yeah, guys, good episode, and I like the ending as well with Tony. Oh, would you fucking stop? Good.
Would you fucking stop?
Good stuff. So yeah, 7 out of 10, guys. Best episode so far for me. Don't know why this one gets hated on. I thought it was good. Let us know what you think down below in the comments.
It's probably because I think it's probably hated because it's like political.
It
splits the ranks.
That will be it. Some people just can't handle political debates and shit like this. I mean, anytime you get political, some people shit their pants and they just don't like it, and they think negatively on it. I mean,
Rudy Giuliani got a mention in there as well.
Like, you need to grow up. Like, fuck me. Like,
yeah, no, who. You can't say one group here got in a negative light more. Like, if this show is literally based on Italians, but I wouldn't say like they completely buried the Native Americans. Both got as good as they got.
Yeah, both were viewed positively, both were viewed negatively. So it's not like it just completely buried one particular race.
If this was done
culture.
now in 2024, the Italian Americans would have got fucking buried.
Oh, aye.
Absolutely. The white man.
The Native Americans would have been the great guys, and the Italian Americans would have been the big bad dudes, so...
Exactly. Anyway, guys, that's us. Till next time. 7 out of 10. Peace.